We are live. Welcome to Raw Live, reloading ammunition and weaponry. So this is number 3.5. Every other Saturday when Rick has a show, we take a little break while he does his show because Rick does super good stuff for the community. His Shooting with Disabilities chat. If you have not checked it out, please go to Rick's Life as I See It's channel and check it out. Absolutely amazing, awesome show. One of the best content creators on YouTube, no joke. I really look forward to Rick's show every other week on the Shooting with Disabilities chat. And the Rick's Life as I See It, both of them on Wednesday. I believe it's Wednesdays and Saturdays. I would think it's Wednesdays. Maybe it's Thursday. I don't know. I always get my days confused. But both of his shows are absolutely awesome. So when he does his shows, I'm definitely not going to be putting up something against Rick. So when he does his show every other Saturday, we take a break, and then that turns the Raw Reloading chat into a two-parter. We also had Minuteman University by G-Webs today, drawing the third Kalishnikov patch, which is absolutely awesome. If you haven't checked out G-Webs, please do. Over on Minuteman University. He also posts over there on Gunstreamer. I think everyone who's going to be listening to me knows who G-Webs is. Knows where to find him and his. I think it's on Indiegogo. Is that right? Indiegogo for the for it to get those patches. Um, for I'll say this again for the Raw Reloading Ammunition and Weaponry chat. So this is an interactive live show. All levels from having never reloaded to master reloaders are welcome to come swap recipes, help, learn, and grow as a community. This is a PG-13 chat. Respect, character, and self-moderation is advised. Advice and information given in these chats are not to be taken as fact or safe advice. You should do your own research and use a reloading manual and proper equipment when reloading and maintain good reloading practices. Videos will be available on Gunstreamer and either deleted or made unlisted or private over on the YouTube side after these chats. Again, check multiple sources. Do your due diligence and research when it comes to reloading data. No one who appears on Raw Live is responsible for the safety of any viewer or participant of Raw Live. Raw and its guests assume no responsibility or liability for any loss or damage or injury suffered by any person as a result of the use or misuse of any of the information or content on this show. By watching the show, you agree to this contract. So just keep that in mind, guys, that I like to check multiple sources on my reloading data and go with people I really trust. So, and we are human. We make mistakes. We misremember things. I do it all the time. So you really just don't want to hear someone say, oh, 4.6 grains, that's what I'm going to load of this powder or whatnot, right? So keep that in mind. You want to use a reloading manual. You want to use proper equipment. And safety is of the utmost importance to us. So please, please, please do your own research. Get a reloading book, and we'll more than gladly help you out on reloading and stuff like that. This is also not just a reloading chat. It's also, I threw weaponry in there. If you're building a gun, working on a gun, doing a trigger job, even if you're cleaning a gun, come put it on camera over here. Come put it on camera. Show us how you do it. Share your experiences and your knowledge with us, stuff like that. That's what this is all about. All levels are welcome. I don't care if you own just one gun or if you own 1,000 guns. I don't care if have only owned a gun for a month or if you've owned a gun for 50 years. So everyone's welcome over here. Everyone's invited. Links will be posted on the front page of Gun Channels any second now. I just wanted to give my little speech out there, make sure everyone understands what this show is about, and make sure everyone understands that reloading is a serious business. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're not careful with what you're doing, there is the possibility of you or someone else getting hurt. We do not want that in our community. So thank you, everyone. Links are going out right now, along with the email links. Okay, let's see here. Post that. Homepage. Post that link. We got the long link going out. We got the short link going out. We have all the links. All of them links going out. If the short link doesn't work for you, try the long link. If the long link doesn't work, try the short link. If neither of them work, try emailing yourself one of the links. If that doesn't work, try and turn the link into a tiny URL. You can go to a website called like tiny URL something, and you can turn it into a tiny URL. And I've heard that works for certain iPhone users. So feel free to use that. Let's see here. That little trick that we've learned. Let's see. My computer's cancel. Beeping at me. But beeping at me. Emails going out right now. If you, for some reason, you need to have a link emailed to you, feel free to hit me up on gun channels, hit me up on social media, deadhorse_dad, hit me up in the YouTube chat, whatever. I can definitely put you on my email list to start emailing you links. Some people just can't seem to navigate gun channels on their phone to get to those links or whatnot, or might have another reason why they can't get on, but they might be able to get to their email. So I have no problem putting you on my email list to help you out with that. Try the Legend of Zelda link. Yeah. We got the Legend of Zelda link. What is it? Ocarina of Time? Yeah. Okay, so the links are out there. I got all my 40 cal brass all sized while the Minuteman and Right Rick show and Minuteman University was going, and then I stopped right there. So I'm going to start priming next. I'm going to put it on camera. We're going to be priming. Hey, David.
How do you do, sir?
Let's see here. David. There's Rick. Send him a link. There's Zorro. The link.
In a few minutes, I'm going to be playing the role of Slim, and I'm going to Walmart to do some shopping. So I'm gonna take the live stream with us.
Oh, that'll be sweet. You should go to the ammo counter and just mess with him. Just like let's just see how knowledgeable the guy at the ammo counter is.
Well, that's why I got to go up there is to get ammo.
Yeah. So be like, do you have any 9mm Magnum? Yep. Do you have any 40 sweet and wet? Yep. That's what I'd say.
My assault rifle holds 15 different clips, so I need to find the right bullets for it.
Oh, do you have any 9 mini Magnum? That's what you say. Do you have any 9 mini Magnum? Well, that's what the MM stands for, is 9 mini Magnum. Did you not know that? And then that they're going to be telling the next guy there, and that's when you hear these stories about someone else. Like, I went into Walmart today, and the guy told me that the MM was mini, stood for mini Magnum. Do you have any 22 lethal rounds? Well, do you know what the LR stands for? Is it's a lethal round?
That is hilarious. The MM might stand for Mickey Mouse if it's 9mm.
Oh, oh, 9 Mickey Mouse. Oh, that's awesome. Yep. Hmm. I bet you I could change the Mickey Mouse song to fit 9mm. Oh, yep. a great idea. That'd be a funny video. Okay, let me turn.
You ever bother loading your shotgun rounds, or are they just cheap enough that you can
Oh,
just?
so this is the thing. I thought they were cheap enough, right? But just for the hell of it, I bought a lead loader, right? 12 gauge. The the cheapest components I could possibly buy, which were like real holes, and I think just like CCI primers, the Winchester like AA wads, just cheap clays powder, and reclaimed shot. So this is lead shot that's mostly about 7.5 to 8 size, but just that's been picked up. That's already been shot once, so it's not all perfectly spherical, right? And it's not all like a consistent, like, oh, this is all 7.5 size shot. So it's not all consistent. It's not all spherical. I get tighter patterns than the Winchester or the Federal at Walmart. No joke. And it's not just me. I had my kids shoot it, and we were shooting these great big pieces of cardboard that we unfolded, and I was shooting them at different ranges, not just like 5 or 10 yards. I was like even scooting back like 30 yards, right, and really looking at shot patterns and stuff. And much tighter groups. I mean, like a significant difference. And that's with the cheapest reloader and the cheapest stuff you can buy, automatically tighter. And that wasn't like, oh, I'm going to dial it in and do this special and only use this exact amount of powder. Like, like no, literally, the very first ones I cranked the handle down, all of them, and not just through one shotgun, but through 3 different shotguns. All of them print better, much tighter patterns through all 3 shotguns. It's absolutely amazing. It sold me on it, and technically, using the cheapest stuff, I think I'm still like 3 or 4 cents cheaper. Um, but so not like a big savings, but it's there. Yeah, you'll never. I'm all about it. From now on, I'm all about reloading my own shotgun. I'm so all about it. I have a great big like Makita tool bag, and that's all I keep in it is my reloading stuff for shotguns. All my holes, wads, everything. Now the trick is your overshot cart, which I want to make my own punch that I can just like punch these perfect little circles in cardboard. Cardboard works really good as overshot. I've tried like thinner, like more like card paper type stuff, but really just like cardboard boxes work great for your overshot cards, and they're squishy enough, like an Amazon type box cardboard is squishy enough that you get like this super good crimp. So your crimp really matters on how your powder charge, the height of your wad, and how much shot you have in there matters on how good of a crimp you get. Well, when you're loading, trying to kind of load on the cheap, so you might be using a little bit lighter powder. You might be using like only 1 ounce of shot instead of 1 1/8 ounce or something, or 1 1/8 instead of 1 1/4, or whatever it is. And you're using cheaper wads that might not be like the exact perfect height you need for that particular hole. The cardboard makes up any differences you have in there, and anything like that, and gives you like a perfect crimp. And then I bought this Russian roll crimper thing that you just put in the end of the drill, and it kind of heats up and rolls it over. And that's okay. But I like the crimper that comes with the Lee. It's absolutely awesome. And with the Lee, if you just take a socket, and I can't remember if it was like I think it was just like a 3/4 inch socket is what I used, and I put it on my press. Now I can make mini shells, and all it takes is a 3/4 inch socket. So after I shoot all those and I have these used holes, once fired holes, if I want to make mini shells, I just take a pair of scissors. I don't even like get exact. I just kind of eyeball it, and I'm like, right about there, clip, and I can make mini holes, mini shotgun shells. And you save a ton of money on the mini shells because those are like 75 cents to $1 a piece, and so you'll save a ton of money on making mini shells. And they all work great and function great out of every gun, and just absolutely awesome. The hardest part is to get the crimp down right, and like I said, cardboard as an overshot card fixes all that. And I don't even cut, like, I haven't even been cutting perfect circles because I haven't made me basically a die to do that yet. So I've just been like basically cutting mine by hand, eyeing them out. So you can imagine trying to cut circles with scissors fast, not taking your time, how like messed up and misshapen they are. It doesn't even matter, dude. As long as they kind of fit in the hole, that's all that matters, and they work great.
So are you gonna be able to load your shells or your shot the same as you would like a slug, or can you? I guess what I'm saying is there a limitation? Like, can you load shot but not slug, or can you load slug and not shot, or can you reload both?
I can load everything on my reloading press. I can load buckshot. I can load like birdshot. I can load slugs. It doesn't matter. The slugs is what I got the roll crimp thing for, that kind of burns it and rolls it over. That like roll crimping thing from Russia. That's what I got that for, was mainly slugs. And because that seems just to work better with the slugs. And it just makes it easier. And that just basically sits down in there. And but you can still use an overshot card, which a lot of people do for those slugs. And but really, I don't even care about the shooting the slugs thing. I'm not even like a shotgun guy or a hunter with shotguns or a self defense guy with shotguns. I'm really not. But I do like to shoot uh, the the clays and to go shoot like trap and skeet. And it's even though I suck at it, I like to go do that. And it's just like, now that I know that I can just do like way tighter, much better patterns out of my guns with the cheapest materials, like I'm all about it. I'm like, boom. And so I went and I shot, and my best score was, I think, like 18 out of 25 or something. And that was just using the Winchester double A, whatever Walmart has in the 100 packs, right? And that was like size 7.5 shot. I think like 18 was my highest score one weekend. I reloaded my own. The very next weekend, I went back, I shot a 22 out of 25. You know, like automatically got better. And not only that, but I was shooting in the 20s consistently now, to where before I would shoot anywhere from like mid teens to maybe high teens, consistently, like doing that. But now I'm like in the low 20s, like all the time now, right? I'm only missing like one, two, or three, like around. So it's definitely made a huge improvement on just shooting like the clay pigeons for me. Huge improvement. Well, I see Vanessa Kitty out there. They asked earlier about how I load primers. I'm going to see. You're going to watch how I do my primers right now. Woods,
Hey, bud, how are you?
how are you, sir?
I'm feeling a lot better. How are you?
Good. I'm glad. I'm doing okay. I feel a lot better. I got like, I'm all wrapped up and stuff, and dude, I'm feeling like way better. I actually just barely took my wrap off just a little bit ago to try and get some air because I slept in it all night.
Well,
I
so
got
that's
kind
good that you got
of
sleep. I like that. I like hearing that.
I
Yeah,
went to bed. I think I went to bed like at 11:40 or something, and I was up at like 7:30.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I got almost 8 hours.
Good
I
flip.
didn't really wake up very much.
Hey,
What's
You
that
know the
book?
what's up,
sound of
Philip?
that voice,
Oh,
What?
look at him. He's got books.
dude.
Yeah, I
Dude,
got
I'm jealous. Yeah, dude, you got a Jeff Cooper book.
Oh, that's
Like
not even.
my hero, Jeff Cooper, my hero. Now all he needs is a couple Elmer Keith books, and he'll be good.
Well, Elmer Keith did a bunch of different shit. I want to get one of his books, but of course it's like $30 or something to get it new. So I'm trying to find one used. But yeah, fighting handguns.
Amazon has them used, bro. The same.
They got used books.
Yep. So when you go to Amazon and you type in the name of the book, the first price it's going to show you is it for the new one, right? But then if you look underneath that, it'll be like, oh, 6 different choices from like $7 or whatever. And then you click on that cheap price underneath, and then you'll often find that those ones are used. And then it'll rate their condition. Used, very good. Used, just good. Used, poor. Used, whatever. And but yeah, they totally have used books on Amazon. I bought in a couple of my gun books that way, used on Amazon, especially ones they don't print anymore.
I've done,
Ruger
I've done the same thing with the textbooks and educational books. A lot of times they come from Goodwills throughout the nation.
Yeah, people suck them up at Goodwills and then throw them on Amazon. Here we go. Okay, guess what a Ruger Blackhawk 357 cost in 1958?
In 1958,
Yes.
$209.
Woods?
Are we using Price is Right rules?
What?
I'm going to go $1.
Well, actual retail price, $87.50.
Woohoo!
What?
Price is Right rules never fail.
Yeah, I gotta get one of those sleeves or something because I'm gonna put this in with the 29 and everything because it's kind of the same era. I don't even know if this thing covers 44. I know it's got a bunch on 357 mag, but I don't know if the 44.
44 didn't even come out until like that time, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like
Oh.
44 was right. So I'm
When that
thinking
came out, yeah.
what I forget what year it was. It's bad that I can't remember what year, but I think it was like 57, 58. So it probably won't be represented by that book because it was brand new. But it's pretty cool to have a book that predates that. But this is where I'm gonna put it next to the 29 and shit and the old ammo I got. But I thought that was pretty cool for $3. I got them. They wanted 4 for it. I'm like, nah, I didn't give them $4.
How much do they want for it?
They wanted 4.
Oh my gosh.
I gave them 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I got these. They wanted $10 a piece, and I got these for 17 for the pair.
Oh, that's right. You went to the flea market today.
He's a wheeler dealer. He's a man after my own
Yeah, he
heart.
saved a whole buck. Yeah, amen.
Slim doesn't pay he doesn't pay like asking price for nothing.
No.
He's a man after your own heart, right, Dad?
He is. He's man, like Slim, like dude, Slim's so good at that. He buys something at Walmart and he returns it for more money than what he bought it for. Same.
This thing, I got this at Five Below. I don't know if I like it because
Oh no, okay, yeah, I have that same one. Now listen here, hold on before you break it. I have that exact same one and I just broke mine. Okay, see that like nut on the top? Like on the inside of it? Like but on top of the tripod?
Yeah.
Like put your finger inside the thing, right? Yep. Hold down on that when you stretch it to put your phone in, or use your phone to press down on the bottom piece. If you just like grab it by the legs and pull up on that little rubber piece, it'll snap right off. I have the exact same one right here. I'll show you.
Like is I was thinking of saving the legs because it just screws off, and getting a thing because I don't like how much tension is on this, because I'm like that's gonna like put a good bit of pressure on the phone, even though it's in a case. Like, I don't know. Because I get my, okay, so the phone is still.
Listen, you think the legs screw off, but they really don't. Let me show you.
They do.
Well, yeah, you think they kind of do, but they kind of don't.
They do. See?
I know, you think they do, but they
It just
kind of
did. I did it.
no. Oh no, I thought you were talking about the individual legs.
No. I'm going to
Because
use
if you
this.
grab one of the legs and try to spin it, it seems like it might spin,
No,
but
because
it's still a pressed fit.
this
Yeah,
is a relatively universal mount, so I could go get like off Amazon a proper mount and attach it to the cheap shitty legs. Because this one is still kind of decent size, but
Okay, so look at my screen. Okay, so there's the same thing you got. So see the leg, the actual leg's not threaded. It's just a press fit up in there, and I got to glue it back up in there because this one broke off. But this is
yeah.
the piece I'm talking about. So unless you put the phone right here first and is like pressing down when you pull up on this, it'll eventually just
Well, that's kind of what I did. We're like,
it'll just snap this right off and pull it right off.
find the way to do it. You set the phone in, and you pull. And
Yeah,
voila.
remember to do that because the second you just start pulling up on this band and holding it by the legs or something to, or down here to stretch it out, it'll just pull right off this piece and break,
Yeah, like
glue it all back on.
Well, it's a cheap piece of shit, but I mean, it kind of
It
works.
is. Yeah, dude, I got mine off of like eBay for like $1 or something, shipped from China. So.
Oh damn! I paid. I had to pay five below, but oh well.
Well, the next time, that's why I'm saying they're so cheap that like I glued this piece, but now that the leg's broken, I'm probably just gonna order another one because I have a feeling this thing's just gonna keep breaking and breaking and breaking on me.
Yeah, no, you just want to get another one. Like
yeah, they're like I paid like $1.89 or something on eBay. If you look them up on eBay, it's super cheap. Dude. It's not even worth trying to.
No, it's not.
Where's my other my tripod?
Funny though, like it's like everybody wants to see the picture. Like the response on that book on Instagram was awesome. Like everybody was like, "We want to see the inside." Like I'm like, "Damn, all the cool shit I've gotten, and I get one freaking awesome book, and everybody wants to see the book." Like funny because I updated this off of my thing, so like it's got all my old pictures and clips that I previously deleted.
So there's the nut that I actually pulled out of that on my other bipod, and it actually broke the nut out. So I just glued it on the little one, so it just stay on for now. But it actually broke that nut off of it, so I use it as a thread protector now for my real tripod.
Oh damn! There you go. I don't know how well that shows up, and it probably doesn't, but
Oh hell yeah!
that was me.
Yeah, back up just a little bit. Right there.
So that was me. What?
That looks good. Well, yeah,
That
there
was
we go.
me. Like I was way younger, and I was looking at like some of the old West pictures, like how the gunfighters and stuff would pose with their gun, and I'm like, well, shit, I can replicate that. So there's me with a Colt Navy, or no, that's a Remington New Army. Sorry, but
Hey, David.
yeah, that's
Hey guys.
Hey, David. Let's see what else is in here.
You must have the magic touch, Slim, because as soon as I walked into Walmart live streaming, it kicked me off the internet.
Oh, they must just know that I'm gonna. If they kick me off, I'm a bitch to the manager.
Have you seen those little devices that'll like kill people's cell phones that are technically legal to own them but illegal to use them? And you can easily order them online at many different places from China. But it's basically they have different power levels of them, enough to maybe kill even people's phones in traffic next to you. But like some of them are directional that you can kind of like literally just aim at specific people and just instantly kill their cell phone signal.
I need to know about all of that.
Yeah, I need one of them.
I need those immediately.
But technically they're legal to own, but illegal to use.
So like
So keep that in mind. To use one is illegal.
On the list of the ones
bad.
that are broken, that's not way up there on the list.
So that's the first time I ever shot a 44 mag.
Oh snap!
Guy was up the range. It was like December, and the guy's like, I was sitting there shooting my Kentucky rifle, which I've since sold. Sadly, I need money. And he's like, oh, I saw that. I'm like, oh, is that a 44? He's like, yeah. He's like, you want to shoot it? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to shoot it. So I loaded up it and got to fire it, and I was hooked ever since.
Did you cry afterwards and say, "Oh my gosh, it gave
Oh
me
God, no.
PTSD"? And
No, because this was December 29th, 2011. If the time stamp on this is correct, because it's switched like 4 phones. But, yeah, no, I didn't cry. I was like, I gotta get me one of these. Like, I need one of these in my life.
uh,
And, now I've got 2 of them and thinking about a third. But,
a third 44 mag.
yeah, you can never have too
Do you
many
ever
44.
shoot like any 44 light special loads?
You mean
44. I mean exactly what I said.
You mean like those?
44 light
Oh,
special
you mean
loads.
44 mag or 44 special? Because these are special.
I mean exactly what I said. 44
44?
light special loads. You should catch the reference, dude. Come on.
No, I don't get light
Dirty
special.
Harry, dude. Where he's
Oh,
in the gun
yeah.
range and the guy, when they had the bad cops, right? And the
No,
and
I
and,
know
he,
what
and the
you're
cops
talking
ask him,
about.
"What are you shooting?" And he's like, "This is a 44 light special load."
Yeah, because, well, see, the thing is, you wouldn't believe how much the internet fights over that line. Because supposedly, in one interview, Clint said, he's like, it was supposed to be a light magnum, but the line ended up being light special for some reason. And everybody's like, oh, well, he carried 44 specials in his gun. That's like, no, he was doing
No, they were 44 mags. They were just a lightly loaded, hence special
Yeah.
44 mag. That's like, I understand the reference, but I just
Yeah, no, I get it, because that's what these are, but this uses a special casing, because I got a bunch of special casings floating around. So I use a special casing, and it's 15 grains of 2400, so it's a light magnum, basically. That's an Elmer Keith load, basically. But, I get the reference.
most people don't. Like when they're like, yeah.
Well, no, I was trying to get what you were meaning, and I'm like,
I know you thought I was like just being like everyone else and being like, oh, you mean 44 special?
yeah, well, yeah, usually, everybody, I forget who asked me that the other day about 44 special, and I'm like, this 44 special is like anemic. Like, factory loaded 44 special is, ugh.
Isn't it like 45 Colt territory?
I mean, I've never actually shot 45 Colt, but I would imagine 45 Colt's got to be stronger than 44 special. 44 special, especially in like my 29, feels like you're firing, damn near feels like you're firing a 22, like a heavy gun. Like it's like a poof. It's like 38 special, basically in a full size gun. There's just nothing to them. Which is probably why it's not popular, because you're in like 45. The people have said that you're in like ballistic wise, you're in like 45 ACP territory, which I can believe because I've seen some of the ballistics and compared them, and like even the carry loads aren't much better than 45 ACP ballistics for 44 special.
With today's technology, Slim, 45 ACP is just as effective as 44 Magnum.
You think?
I was
Like,
just joking.
I was gonna say, I'm
With
not
today's
like,
technology, 9mm is just as effective as 45. That's
like you're saying this, and I'm like, okay, am I missing something? Like, I don't know everything there is to know about this shit, but like,
45 is a bigger number than 44. It's
Like
obviously
there's
it's
just
obviously
not
more
that
effective.
there's just not enough room in that casing. Like they're just.
I go by the bigger the number, the better. So obviously 380 is far superior to 357 or way so. Like look at 9, dude. That's just the number 9. So 40 is like like literally more than 4 times more effective than 9.
Well, here's the thing. So you like everybody's got like 100 health points, right? So you want to get the higher the number, the easier it is to stop them. So like 44, you only got to really hit them 2 or 3 times maximum, and they're done. Where 9, think of how many 9s you got to put into someone to reach 100 to get that to knock out their 100.
Oh, that's a good that's a good point. I never
So
thought
like
about that. The 100 health point thing. I never thought about that. That's
50 BMG is a guaranteed 2-shot kill,
yep.
whereas
What about the 17 versus the 22?
Well, you see, that's why 22 is more effective than 9.
Yeah.
I'm.
You know what works? Bullets. I don't care what they are. Fucking bullets. They work great.
That's why I carry this, because this has 5 shots in it, but it's only going to need a maximum of 3 to stop somebody.
Or
So
one.
you get,
Think of how many a 12 gauge
Batman runaway.
takes. Yeah, think of how many
Oh.
rounds a 12 gauge takes with the 100 hit point theory.
yeah, like a 12 gauge. That's a.
Well, what caliber
That's
is
like barely more effective than 9.
But what caliber is a 12 gauge?
58? Is it?
12.
No. What
No,
is
it's
it?
58, right? Yeah.
Is it like 58 or something like that? I forget.
I know you can shoot a 50 BMG projectile out of a 12 gauge.
Yeah, I know you
So,
can do that, but it's like it
I know it's bigger than 50 cal. So
I think it's like 58 or something. I don't know, and I'm probably wrong, but I think someone said like 58 caliber. But
Yes, because shotguns. Yes.
okay, so if we turn the 12 gauge into a caliber, okay, I guess it's not in 9 territory. You
So,
got
so here's the thing. Then is like that's why they made 300 blackout instead of 30 blackout, because they wanted to, instead of have it taking 3 to kill one guy, one will now knock out 3 guys.
okay. What if I do it this way? What if I do 12 gauge filled with 9 double-aught buck pellets? So isn't the double-aught buck somewhere close to about 9mm size?
Well, double odd buck is like double damage.
Oh, so it's like a double 9mm.
Yeah, it's like a damage bonus or something.
What caliber was the gun and duck hunt? That's all I've ever wanted to know. Like seriously, like when I die and I go to the pearly gates and they're like, all right, we'll answer like any one question you've always wanted to know. I'm gonna be like, what caliber was that gun? I just
Did you guys see the Duck Hunt replica gun, like the actual real gun that looks like the Duck Hunt
yeah,
gun?
the Glock Nintendo's
I
out.
want that. I don't care what the snowflakes say. I want that.
Remember the old AMT auto mags that actually had like more of like a Luger tapered barrel, right? So it didn't have a full slide. It had like a fixed like tapered barrel at the front, right? That looked more like a duck hunt gun to me. I would like to see one of those dressed up like that. The
That
Glock
would be
thing,
cool.
like, yeah, it looks close because of the color scheme and it says Nintendo Zapper and all that. It looked close, but those old AMTs with like the fixed, they were like 357 mag or whatever, and they had a fixed barrel on the front that tapered like the old Lugers did, right? Or like an old like Mark II Ruger or something. So it had like that kind of tapered barrel. That looks way more like a duck hunt gun to me. I would like to really see one of those.
Did anybody see the Makita gun?
Yeah, and the Milwaukee one, the
I
Glock
didn't see.
store did those. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. It's one of them because it's the red label, and then the Makita and Milwaukee both got red. No, Makita's blue.
Yeah, Makita's blue.
So it is
They,
the Milwaukee one that I saw.
no, yeah, Glock store's done a couple of those, and I don't know if they did the DeWalt one, but I know they did the Milwaukee and Makita ones.
That kind of sort of is along the same lines.
Yeah, so something like that looks more like a duck hunt gun to me than a Glock. I'm just saying.
Well, the reason they do it with a Glock is because those guns are hard to keep.
Disposable.
Yeah, the Glock, no one cares. If you do that to an automag, people are going to be like, you're getting hung up by your nuts.
And
Well,
if
they
you
say
use
it
a
'cause
Glock,
it's disposable.
if you use a Glock with 9mm, you can still shoot at your TV and not damage it.
I would believe that actually. That would make actually perfect sense.
So, Dad, I like your idea for the duck hunt gun, but I want Elmer Fudd's gun, the double barrel pump action from the cartoons
That would be cool as hell.
with unlimited ammo, of course.
Yeah, I want
I'd
one of
want
those
to.
duck.
I'd want to make sure the safety feature was you cannot, no matter how hard you try, tie the barrels in a knot.
All right, I'm curious. What are you making?
Just some 40 Smith & Wesson.
Cool.
I'm showing my Lee Auto Prime 2. That's what I use to do my primers with now. I did hand primers forever. But the Lee Auto Prime 2 is the best priming system ever. And they
Yeah,
don't
I was
make
looking
them
on
anymore.
eBay.
Yeah, you can't find them. So if you do see one, I highly suggest you pick it up because they are phenomenal. Like
Yeah, because
nothing else. There's literally primer presses that cost $500 that are basically nothing but this, but built into a little box. And all it is this exact system. And they cost $500 to replicate what this did for $20 brand new. But now these go for 60 to 80. If you can find them. But this thing is just the most consistent, less hassle-free. Just, I mean, and if you actually have a shaky bench to put this on, it even works better with this shaky bench.
Yeah, I got a shaky bench.
Yeah. So if you have a real solid bench, you got to come up and just give it a tap once in a while like that. And at least with this tray, after I get this tray empty today, I'm going to try this tray, the newer style, see if it works any better with that. But man, these things are just phenomenal. I'm probably going to get a second one just to have it. So if I ever wear this thing out in like 30 years, I'll have another one. And the feel is just, you can't really explain it unless you've primed a bunch of different ways, right? And I've primed on several different presses, several different ways, hand primers, all sorts of stuff. The consistency and the feel of this one is just absolutely amazing. It is. Especially if you're trying to load any kind of, more precision type rifle calibers and just get a really good, feel and a consistent seating depth. It's just nothing beats it.
Yeah, because I wanted to load up some. I've been waiting because I want to test these rounds, make sure it's a good loading since I'm using those bullets for the first time, and then start cranking out. But with the range pushing back to more, I haven't had a chance to shoot them, so I don't want to start cranking them out, knowing if they're any good. I'm assuming. I figured better to test than assume.
I love it. But that's what I prime with now. It's the best thing. I prime everything off my presses, even my 223 and 9mm. I pre-prime everything using this now instead of priming on the press. I've moved away from priming on the presses altogether to just this system because on progressives, the priming seems to be the big issue. The machine's messing up on priming, stuff like that. And the progressive just runs so much better when you don't even have to deal with primers. It's just, and not only that, I like to think of it as one last inspection of my brass before I prime, right? Like, hey, is it consistent? Is there any obvious damage, cracks, anything? Is it going to be a loose primer that's going to pop out of my gun under recoil and jam up my whole gun or something? Which you can't tell in the progressive presses. You don't have the same type of feel, whether it's on the downstroke or upstroke. I got both right here. You don't got that same feel. And so you could very easily be setting, especially if you have brass that's been fired more than once, you can very easily be setting a primer in a loose primer pocket And you're not going to know that until you're shooting the gun at the worst possible time. You know what I mean? The hand primers you could feel and tell if it was a loose primer pocket, but I've totally gone away from priming on the progressive presses to just this system now. And it makes it so easy, so consistent. I mean, you just can't beat it. And if I have a real loose primer pocket I'm worried about, like I instantly know, I instantly feel it. And I can set that piece of brass aside.
Well, that's cool. Like I'm still like hand load the primers into my turret press, and it is nice to be able to feel like as you close the ram and like okay, it's in. Like you know it's all the way seated shit. But I want to get something to go a little bit faster.
Like this, I'm taking my time right now, but I can go like pretty dang fast with this actually. But like I said, I use this for my last check, right? I'm looking for cracks. I'm looking for like, a mouth that's like really misshapen something. I'm just looking for any sign of this really bad damage or bulge or anything like that. Just anything that doesn't look right. So this is basically my final inspection before I really just start, you know, dumping powder and then projectiles and crimp. But so that's why I don't mind doing it this way. And if I want to, like I said, I can speed up pretty good and do it at a pretty consistent rate. I could even put my zip ties up higher and aim this right towards my bucket or my ramp, and then this could automatically eject them if I want to. So I can actually get this down pretty dang fast. Couple more
See, they're
there.
doing the movie on Midway.
Yep. The movie looks good. The CGI, and granted, it might have just been the one I watched, but the CGI, I was not impressed with it at all. It looked like
I
it was
know.
B-movie-ish, dude.
Like I saw that in the one, especially the one scene where like the one carrier, I don't remember which carrier it was like kind of going sideways, and like you could see the planes and stuff sitting on the deck, and
The
I'm like,
gunfire out of the planes looked pretty CGI-ish, and just it has a
that
bunch of big names in it too, but it looked really CGI-ish, dude. That's the only way I can describe it. It looked pretty big.
that's my worry. Like Dunkirk, Dunkirk got a lot of flack for how like how he portrayed the movie, but the special effects
Those were
were
awesome, yeah.
amazing because a lot of it was practical, real world stuff. Like they were actually firing, so they were actually filming and using different stuff. And I'm quite sure it was real expensive, but it really immersed you. Where that you're right, it looks like a lot of CGI, and it's going to be interesting because we haven't seen um, a lot of that kind of stuff lately. Because the last, I mean, what Pearl Harbor was the last war movie like that I can remember. So it'll be interesting to see
I
what they
hated Pearl Harbor because it had that really shitty love story in the middle of it. I was like, you didn't need to have that in Pearl Harbor, dude. Who cares about this fictional love story in, in Pearl Harbor? I don't want to see fictional fucking love stories in my Pearl Harbor movie. What are you doing? So I hate that movie just based on that. Because yeah, we don't need no love stories like that in the middle of Pearl Harbor, dude. Come on, dude. Why take away from Pearl Harbor with some shitty love story, dude? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you kind of ruined that. The one thing I liked about Pearl Harbor was the one scene with like the Santa. I think it was leaning up against a tree or something. We actually had one of them, like because we had all like the antique Christmas stuff. So we actually had one of those exact Santas. It was always cool to see it in the movie. But I thought it was an interesting movie. Just take out the love story crap. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But if it's all CGI, then it could be, especially now that because that's a preview, that could be crappy CGI. Maybe it'll get better. But yeah, if it's crap CGI, it's going to be very unimmersive. And that's the kind of movie where you want to get immersed into the atmosphere and get a feel for, the era. Like that's why Dunkirk was good in that aspect because you felt like you were there. Like this wasn't just, you were watching a bunch of CGI shit roll around. Like they did a very good job of immersing you into the atmosphere of the movie.
I don't even know if this one's gonna work or not. It doesn't want to kind of snap in all the way. It doesn't want to snap in all the way, so we're gonna try it anyway. Go. Open. We're gonna see how that works. See if that new style works with the Lee Auto Prime 2. If it keeps feeding up. Oh no, it doesn't want to feed him. It's got a jam. No.
What flavor?
Okay.
I was all excited about hitting range today. When they told me that they might be open today, I'm like, sweet, this is going to work out perfect. Like literally when at 10 o'clock, when they're like, no, we're still closed. I'm like, oh shit, now what do I do with my day? And I went to sleep. Ended up sleeping till like 6.
You work tonight?
No, I work tomorrow night, but I'm off tonight. I'm thinking I might go out and wash the car. I haven't washed it in a couple months, and it's covered in shit. And with the green stuff over, it's time to wash it and give it a real good rub down. But I do it at night, because it's around here, there's shitty water and it'll spot if it dries. But
Oh, that's why it doesn't work. I see why now. Okay. Yep. So the new style does not work in the old style. That sucks.
that sucks. So that's the thing is, I gotta break down. Like, I'd like to reload 380 because I have two 380s, including the PPK that I love. So I want to start reloading that because $15 a box for 380 is not. It's unacceptable. Hey, come on. 9 mil is like 16
I know,
bucks.
but supply and demand, dude. Capital.
I know. I'm aware of that.
We're not about the, and plus it's 9mm communist, so.
Yeah. You know. So it's like I want to start with 380, which will be my first auto cartridge. I want to get into. I won't do 9 because I know a lot of people do 9, but it's like, sorry, $100 or 100 rounds for $16. Even if I can do it for half of that, it's just not worth it. Maybe if I had a full progressive press, maybe, but
Well, I do 9 because I have a progressive, and it is cheaper, and you do save money, especially if you shoot a lot of it. If you don't shoot a lot of it, then it's probably not worth it. But if you shoot a lot of 9, like competition or anything like that, or have 3 teenage boys that all have 9s, yeah, like
and that's different. Like if I
yeah.
shot a shit ton and I had a full progressive, I'd probably do it. But for me, I got a turret, so it's 4 cranks to get a bullet, which I'm perfectly fine with. I like going a little bit slower, especially when you're doing plus P plus specials. And it just for me, I just running the Wally world and getting the box is just simpler. But I want to do 380. I've got the dies to start doing 38. Once again, 38 special, $16 a box. Uh, just no. And I don't know. I want to get into 9x23 Steyr, but I don't know how much I want to shoot that gun more because it's really fucking awesome to shoot. Whole loading mechanic and all that. It's just a cool gun to fire. But I'm afraid to shoot it, so I get shot. Because something breaks, there's no parts for it, and even like the recoil spring, which is probably the original recoil spring in the damn gun. You know, it has so many shots in it before it burns out.
I just had one going really, really, really light. So I set that one aside. Oh, it was a blazer. That's why. Blazer piston. That explains it. So that one's definitely, I'll still shoot it, but I did just, this one gets separated to like a different pile to where I know I might run into issues after I shoot it. I might want to check it to make sure the primer's still in it and didn't get down into my gun somewhere, or just.
You know, that's another thing about the 44 casings is they're usually pretty robust.
Well, 40 is just so powerful. What can I say?
I never got on the 40 bandwagon.
It's just basically an American 10mm, dude. You know, I mean, come on. How many men on the moon has mini meters put on there? All right.
Yeah, but for me, like, I hear that and I'm like, so wait a minute, you took 10mm, you know, decent OMP round, and you made it less powerful? Like, why? Like, what was wrong with 10mm?
Weak wrists.
Well, tell them to man up then, I don't know. Like, tell them to go carry a 9.
Weak wrists is what was wrong with 10mm.
Hey, Dad, that shotgun,
What's that?
that shotgun press I'm looking for is the Precision 2, right?
Load all two. The
Yeah.
Lee Precision load all two.
Okay.
And 12 or 20. And you gotta if you want. Are you looking for just 12 gauge?
Yeah, to start. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
20 eventually, but I want to get good at that first.
When you get to 20, don't buy the conversion kit. Just buy another 20.
Yeah, a
whole nother press. Right. Yeah, it's not worth buying the conversion.
Like you can get the conversion thing for like 30, or just buy a whole other for 60.
And Amazon will have the Lee load all on sale, often cheap for like only $30, 30, 35 bucks. So I definitely wait for a deal before you order one, because I've often seen them like at Brownells for like $60, and it's like, dude, I paid like 35 bucks for mine shipped. And it's a super awesome investment.
Well, I talked about before is doing duck hunting loads. Because I always have to choose between like 3s and 6s or whatever, depending on the range of shots. But what if I put both in the same shot? Yes,
that works. A lot
I
of people do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And then there's all kind of crazy shit because I've got some old Mossbergs that I don't even, like. I don't care if it fucks up the barrel, but I want to see what happens if I like frozen gummy bears or something.
I tried that with a bunch of steel BBs I had. Is I did a bunch of steel BBs with just which is 177 caliber, and then I mixed those with a bunch of 7.5 shot. Those seem to work out really good. They still gripped really good. Everything.
So Woods is trying to say that the universe is telling me to stick with revolvers.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like that holster.
Like, well, so far that's holster number 2.
Duh.
So
the universe said it twice.
Universe is telling me twice to just stick with revolvers.
How many data points do you need? Do you need another data point?
I think I'll do maybe I'll do a video. I'll turn it into some content, and I'll be like, "Hey viewers, what do you think?" And I'll show like the 2 setups, and I'll be like, "Which should I go with?"
Well, if you do another one and it doesn't work, 1 is a point, 2 is a line, 3 is a trend.
Well, supposedly, this other holster should eventually be on the way back. I got a 3rd one on the way.
That's cool.
But I don't know, like I'm kind of over, like I set this Polymer Wonder 9 up, and now I'm like, yeah. Like I fired it, I got it good, I got it all set up nice, and I'm like, I'm quite happy with the damn revolver. So maybe I'll stick with a revolver.
It doesn't leave pesky shells on the ground when you have to do stuff.
No, it does not. Hey, Zorro. He must not be there.
His dad's making him work or something.
Probably.
I'm gonna have an agent. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I've never reloaded shotgun shell. You just gonna reload for range, or what are you gonna load?
Mostly duck hunting and then shits and giggles. Like, what weird crap can I shove in there and fire down the fucking range and see what happens? Like frozen gummy bear sounds awesome.
That does sound fun. See, that's what sucks it around here. Like I every time I would watch those weird videos, I'm like, you know what? I would try some of that. And I'm like, wait a minute, dumbass. I have nowhere to shoot this. Like,
I got nothing but room to shoot that, especially shotguns where the range isn't that far. Shit, 30 minutes from my house, I'm in the middle of fucking woods.
Yeah, like, well, you can set up something to kind of collect them and be like, okay, what did this do? Like me, I got none. Like,
Yeah.
The range officer, the game warden shows up at the range and is like, what the fuck are you firing? And, like ball bearings. Yeah, fuck you. Here's your fine. We're taking your gun. Have a nice day, asshole.
No, I just pull out my license and I remind them that I'm Woods and they're all mine, and then they leave.
Yeah, that don't work. Because actually, my range permit / hunting license for the year, it expired the 30th, which is...
Yeah, I got to buy a new one of those. Here it's called a Discovery Pass, so it's all the National Forest. Usually comes with your hunting license, but mine ends January 31st because duck hunting season ends January 31st.
Yeah, this...
I might just go buy my duck license again early.
That's why everybody was at Walmart and I felt bad for the old guy they got working there because like he's shaky and all. Like I'm guessing he ain't got no money because he should have retired. But like you feel bad because he can barely work the machine and shit. But it's like on the other hand, it's like, dude, you take forever. But you kind of feel bad for him because like he's you can tell he's there because he needs money. But that's why I hate having to get one because if he's there, it's like he did one for somebody. It took him 25 minutes to get one hunting license cranked out.
That's why I don't mind getting mine during the summer because I've got nothing but time. So I'm like, take all the time you need. I'll just go to Bass Pro and be like, I'll just sit there for whatever.
Yeah, Dick's, because the last time, I did a video on that one where like I wasted like 45 minutes in Walmart trying to get someone to make one just to find out the machine's broke, and I had a quick one to Dick's Sporting Goods, and they made me one, but
I went into the other day with my wife to Walmart and I was just going to buy a box of shells. I had to call fucking Walmart to like call the main number to get somebody to come over there twice.
yeah, I've done that.
I figured out how to do their intercom system. That's when they eventually came. They were kind of mad, but I would stand in there 20 minutes. So
I'd be like, fuck you, you don't want me using your intercom, have a goddamn employee so that I don't have to wait.
when
See,
there was like,
isn't the intercom just the store number, right?
yeah,
See, I figured out a way. Like, what time did you go back live? Around 6, Dead Horse? Right around 5 to 6 p.m. on Saturday, Walmart's got somebody in their sporting goods section. Any other day of the week, I've been in there. I've been in there and paged 5 people and waited for 45 minutes and didn't see anybody come.
Should go speak to the manager. They'll give you a $20 gift card for your troubles.
I've got stacks of them.
Do they really? Slim?
Yes, they will. Yeah, I did a whole video series, Slim Cowboy versus Walmart videos. I was trying to remember from memory, so the videos are kind of blah. But yep, every single time when I would have to stand and wait for more than like a half hour, I'd call up corporate and be like, I just stood in your fucking thing with my money in my hand for 45 minutes to try and get some ammo and nobody showed up. And they would call back and apologize. Oh, it's not good. It's going to be different next time, and it never was. But here's a $20 gift card for your troubles.
You probably don't even have to go to corporate. If you go to the service desk and ask for whoever is like in charge, they'll if you throw enough of a fit in a respectful enough way, they'll kick them out to you right then and there.
Well, I've said to them like I'm like, look, I work retail, and this is appalling. Like, you've got people trying to hand you money for what you're selling, and we can't hand you our money because you don't have anyone willing to take it. Like I had the one manager, so I called. I'd been calling for so long, I was on my way to the store anyway. So I called and I finally got a manager to check for the ammo. And the second he picked up, I'm like, "Oh, are you in sporting goods?" "Oh, yes, I am." I'm like, "Do you have 22?" "Nope." Like, says it immediately. He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "You got 38?" "Nope." "You got 44 mag?" "Nope." "Oh, okay then." Like, wow, you really sold out everything. 10 minutes later, not even, right? I'm in the store and I walk over to sporting goods, and guess what? The shelves were they were all completely filled with all 3 MOs. And I'm like, he didn't even walk over. He didn't even check. He didn't even care. And that's when I called corporate and I'm like, you know how bad it looks on you guy that your manager on duty, this was like later at night. Your manager on duty is lying to customers about the availability of a product because he doesn't want to go check. I'm like, how lame is that? That you guys really don't want my money, do you?
I like it when you go and you finally get somebody to the sporting goods section and the cash register doesn't have any money in it. So then you
Huh?
got to go up to the service desk and wait for somebody to come up to the service desk with a manager key.
Well, the best part is at one point, Walmart for 22, they'd ask you, is it for pistol or rifle? I'm
They
like,
still do here.
that's none of your business.
I mess with them. I purposely tell them like, oh, 9mm rifle, 30-06 pistol. I literally tell them the opposite of whatever it's
Well,
worth.
yeah, like they asked that, and I've been like, I don't have to disclose what I plan to do with the
Well,
ammunition.
no, it's because of 21 and 18 years old.
Oh, I know, but I know exactly why they do it. But I've said to them, I'm like, you can put whatever you want because I don't, by law, I don't have to disclose what I plan to do with the ammunition.
Yeah, they've never asked me that. I've never heard them say anything like that
They
to me.
do every time here.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, you don't have the right to ask me what I plan to do with it. So you can put whatever you want in your little machine, but I don't care. Well,
Have they,
Every time they ask me here, dude, and I just mess with them every single time. I just mess with those guys, and I'm just like, 30-06. Oh, that's a pistol. 9mm. Oh, that's a rifle.
well, sometimes I've been like both. I'm like, figure that one out. I'm like,
next next
like,
time tell them it's for your bow and arrow.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because I've literally said, I'm like, sorry, both. And they'll get all, I'm like, it's a box of 500. It's going to go into a lot of things. Like, but I just, Walmart is the only place that cards me. And even the old shaky guy that, like, every week, like I try and buy one box ammo a week if I can. And, every week he wants the ID. And I've gotten bored with him, so I just start handing my permit to carry, and they can never find the date of birth. And I'm like, sorry, in here every week. You're the only place that cards me. It's really getting old. Like, it's pretty fucking obvious. I'm over 18, even though your little thing is now 21. Pretty obvious I'm over 21.
Well, a lot of registers are changing over. There's a program that has been added to registers where you have to put in an actual date because they had found that when they originally hooked up, and mostly like gas stations and convenience stores are like this, people would just put in whatever generic date turned you 18 or turned you 21. And then, when they look back at the records, 9 million people bought cigarettes that were born on the same day. So
Well,
they
yeah.
they switched it over, so a lot of those programs won't let them go by unless they actually put in an official birth date.
Yeah, I know, which is getting stupid because we did that. We have that for cigarettes, which we don't sell anymore, thankfully. And, like, we had a bypass button. So, like, if they were 50, we could bypass the whole thing. But if they look young, you damn well better have their date of birth.
Next time you're in Walmart and we're streaming Slim and you buy ammo and they ask you what it's for, tell them it's for your shall not be infringed.
Yeah, I don't even because what happens is usually they'll ask me, like, if it's 22 when it's a newbie, they'll ask me at the register in sporting goods. But then if it's late and it's got to go to the front desk or whatever, that's when they'll ask me. And it's such a pain in the ass to get it at that point. I avoid having to get it that late at all possible because you're waiting 45 minutes and nobody picks up the phone. Like, they all make these, oh, well, it goes to a night answering thing, like it rings in all departments. I'm like, you're right, no one picks it up. I don't care where your phone goes to. If no one picks it up, it doesn't matter. Like, me as the customer can't get a hold of you. Like, I finally said to the one woman in corporate, I'm like, no one's picking up your phone. Like, what happens if there's a family emergency or if there's something like that going on and someone's trying to get a hold of somebody and there's no one to pick up the phone? Like, how does that work?
They don't care, dude. Come on.
No, they don't care, and that's the beauty of it is.
It's Walmart, dude. It's like,
It just sucks because around here they've got the by far best prices on a lot of ammo, and I hate giving them money, but when I can walk in and get the 22, the Federal Auto Match that I like so much. I can get that at Walmart for 16 bucks, and then I go into my one gun shop like another 3 miles down the road, and it's 22 bucks. I can't compete with that. Like, sorry, you know, I'd love to give it to the gun shop, but I can't give you X amount of more dollars just because you're the gun shop. Like, I could see if it was, 18 bucks maybe, but
Well, the number one small business that you have to look after is your own wallet.
pretty much. Yeah.
I usually buy my ammo from the gun shops on the 2nd of every month. That's when I go around and I'll buy a box of ammo from every gun shop or something. Yeah, I'll pay a little bit more.
We got a gun shop, let's see, 25 yards away from the shop that we work out of, like our company shop. And the people there are, half of them are really cool, the other half are really jerks, and their prices are outrageous. So it really stinks because I'd buy stuff from there all the time if they were, a better shop. And then all the other decent shops around where I live at are 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
So the old style of primer holder will hold over 100 primers in it, and the new style only holds 50. So that's something to think about too.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So remember how I ripped those scales off this Swiss? Right?
Hmm.
So when I popped them back on, they were super loose, but there was also like a coating of oil on the whole thing when I put it back together. They're not loose anymore. I wonder if the oil swelled the plastic back up and like they
Oh,
they're
probably
solid.
that plastic probably dried out. That's what
Yeah,
plastic's made out of, petroleum.
yeah. So that's like totally awesome. Like, because I'm like, ah, damn, they're all loose now. It's gonna annoy me, but they're back on solid, and it's like awesome. Because I'm not gonna replace them because they're beat up. Because I mean, it's riding my pocket. It's gonna get beat up again anyway. So not bad for a buck. What do you expect for a dollar?
Expect you to whittle something with that there knife.
Nah, that blade still the blade, the knife doesn't look like it ever got used. It got sat somewhere where it got all cruddy and crappy, but the blade never got used. I ain't doling it down on that because I never did quite get good at sharpening a blade. Like, I watched a shit ton of YouTube videos and I had the stone and everything, and I kind of got the concept, but I never got good enough to where I can put a real clean blade on something like an edge. So I'm trying not to use that main blade or anything as a box opener like I have all my other knives.
You really slim, you want to learn how to sharpen a blade, go down to Home Depot and buy a machete for like 10 bucks. Gives you a long piece of blade to get used to using a stone on.
That's a good idea, actually. Because I was doing it with my Gerber that I used to carry, and I could put a edge on it. It would work, but it was by no means that quality edge what you get from the factory or what you get on these Swiss. These little Swisses are razor fucking sharp.
Yeah, all my knives I use for opening boxes so that I don't look like a bandage coming down the hallway.
A bandage.
Yeah, covered in gauze. Because every time I get a new knife, I cut myself at least a dozen times with it before I dull the blade on cardboard.
Oh, yeah, no, because at work I use a box cutter all night long, and I've sliced myself a few good times. We had the one guy that, and we don't know how if he just did this or if he left shortly after. and he like sliced it down to the bone.
Oh,
Because a fresh blade and a box cutter, I mean, that's basically a razor blade.
yeah.
You put some torque on that, because like you're cutting at a box. You know, you're going force like running it down the box, and you get your finger in there, and it'll go straight to the bone. Oh, that just hurts thinking about it. Because that, especially like that, being a fresh, like a clean cut like that. Ugh. Yeah. But luckily with my knives, like I usually, that's what they end up being. They just end up being box cutter openers, yeah, box cutters and shit. Like I've never really got to use any of my knives for anything really interesting, which I guess is a good thing. But you know, practical little. That's basically what a pocket knife is. Just a practical little blade to have. There's still some gunk in this damn thing, even after all that cleaning.
What are you doing there, Dead Horse? Priming?
Yeah, I'm priming 40 cal cases.
So you're putting the primers in.
Yep, I'm putting the primers in.
Okay. Is the propellant that goes down inside the primer, is that different than the rest of the stuff that goes in the case?
Oh yeah, yeah, that priming compound.
Okay. So I guess you would put that in first and pack it down or something like that?
No, you don't do that. Like most people just buy primers like already set up. Like there are videos on how to make your own primer compound, like with match heads or other chemicals, but like no one does that. Dude. Like,
Yeah,
that's such a
screw
rare
that.
thing.
So the primer that you buy to add to your casing has already got the propellant in it?
Yep, it has an anvil right there. If you look, that's the inside of the primer. It's called an anvil, and then underneath that's the priming compound. And then when the firing pin hits the back of the primer, it basically squeezes that compound in between the anvil and the primer, and that squeezing it is what sets it off.
That's what I've been trying to figure out the whole time is, you know, how do you accurately fill that primer with propellant and still get the right amount? But because I didn't know that they already came
Yep.
primed, I guess you would call it.
And like I said, like if you want to reload like a rimfire, right? So rimfire, you would definitely have to make your own priming compound for that. But it's just such a, there are people who do even reuse these primers, or even 209 shotgun primers is a popular one. They'll stick a punch down inside of it. They'll smack the divot out from the firing pin strike, and they'll reprime it with compound. That's a common like prepper type thing. But for the most part, like no one does it. It's just you buy 1,000 primers for like $26 or something, and they're just too cheap to even worry about it. But most people have like, I don't know, David, show your collection of primers. Most people have like a couple, 5,000, 10,000 primers, like way more than what they're going to need for quite a while because they're just so cheap.
And what
Yeah,
are you doing? You're pushing it up into the casing there?
Yeah, yep. So I'm sliding a casing and a shell holder, and this little rod right here comes and picks up the primer that slides from this tray down this ramp into this die. And then this rod will just basically pick it up and presses it right up into the case.
And you just holding it there with your fingers enough to hold the casing on?
Oh, I'm not even holding it with my fingers. It's just the case is sitting in the shell holder.
Oh, it's down inside something now.
So
Okay.
right up on top of here at the top, I just slide the case on in the shell holder, which it just kind of slides in. And now it get pressed up.
Yeah, now I see it.
So if you watch like the top of this, I'll do it without a case in it. It picks up the primer, and then there's the primer. See it pop up right there?
Yeah.
Here, I can give a close up. So I see how this thing is.
Well, let me click on you, Slim. Hold on a second. All right, go ahead.
This is the shell holder, right? So what happens is, let me see if I got a. I'll use one of my dummies. So like because like this is for 44, like special and mag, like their rimmed cartridge. So it just slides in, right, like that, and the shell holder holds onto the casing, so it only comes out one way, and then you can do what you need to do with the casing. So like the shell holder hooks on, and then if you want to switch, like they just pop out, just pop in a new shell holder for a new cartridge.
All right,
But there's
okay, cool.
holes through the bottom, so you can, like when you want to prime, like primed on the press. So what you would do is, like I would do my first stroke, right, which would be de-priming and sizing. You put a primer in there, and then as you come down, the primer comes back up through the bottom of the shell holder and primes the case. Pushes the primer up into the case.
So in other words, you're depriming and priming at the same stroke.
Yes, and you can do it all different ways, but yes, on my press, I can do that. Usually, I deprime beforehand. Like I have a universal depriming die set up on a different, like different cylinder or turret. So what I do is I'll deprime everything, and then clean it all in my ultrasonic cleaner, and then go. Once that's all done, then I'll prime and do all that. So usually I don't deprime with that, but I have the rod in there just in case.
Yeah,
But
see, they come in packages of 100 in these little slide out deals like this. And there's 100 primers in each one of these packages. And then there's 10 boxes inside a large box. And this is 1,000 large rifle primers. And I've got like 1,000 small rifle primers. And then I've got 1,000 large Magnum pistol primers for the 458 SOCOM.
How much did that box run you there, David?
Like Dad had said, I think they were about
$26 or $28, maybe
Yeah, they were-
30 at the gun store. Just
Yeah,
depends
like-
on if you're ordering them online or whatnot. Or
and you got to pay a hazmat fee. So what I usually do is I wait until like Brownells or Sinclair's or Midway or Natchez or one of them, Graff and Son. They have a 1 day.
that's
They'll
one of my
have,
favorite places to order reloading stuff from is Craft and Son.
yeah, they're good people there, and they got fair prices. But they once every while they'll have no hazmat fee if you spend like $100. So then you order powder and primers and get it shipped to your house without a like $15-16 hazmat fee.
Or if you're just gonna order some primers and powder, usually I'd suggest ordering in bulk. Ordering a thing of 5,000 primers. Ordering an 8-pound bottle of powder, instead of a 1 pound. Stuff like that. If you're ordering online, it usually just works out better for shipping charges and hazmat fee and everything like that. Just ordering in bulk. Because the hazmat fee is usually the same whether you buy, 20 pounds of powder or whether you buy 1 pound of powder. Whether you buy, 5,000, 5,000 primers or 1,000 primers, it's the same hazmat.
And that's kind of the problem with reloading is it's dangerously addicting because when you start realizing the more you buy, the more money you save. And next thing you know, you're like, hey, you know what? If I get 5,000 primers and I get 5,000 bullets, and you start realizing how much you're going to save, and it's like, ah, crap.
Well, but then you start shooting more too when you reload.
Yeah, then you're
find
going to
yourself
start
going out
shooting
shooting more.
That was the phrase I never understood when everybody's like, well, you don't really save any money, you just shoot more. And I'm like, nah, because I'm going to shoot the same, I'm not going to shoot more, I'm going to reload. And then, like, every time you reload, I'm like, I want to go fire him. I want to go fire him. and you run off to the range and with them, and next thing you know, you're like box 100 that you just cranked out. It's all gone, and I'm like, I want to make more, like a little damn kid. You know, you're either it's a vicious cycle of you either want to go shoot what you have, or you want to go reload what you just shot, and yeah, you truly do shoot more for the same money. Probably end up spending more money in the long run, but you shoot way more.
Yeah, like I've got this little $30 C press from Lee right here, and it's got a universal decapping die in it. I pop all my primers first, and then I wet tumble, then I dry them and pull them out, and then I'll put them in my little bench primer, and I'll whip it out, prime everything up, and then put powder and bullets in. But the thing with reloading is you're going to be working on a charge to get the most accuracy. So you may have to, load up different sets of bullets with different amounts of powder in them, and maybe even possibly 2 or 3 different powders to find yourself.
Make a chart like that on the side of your reloading tray. Yeah, and then go out and shoot, 10 of each different powder charge, and then once you think you get the powder charge right, and that's if you're loading off the lands right a certain amount, and you can go down a rabbit hole, you really can, but realistically, like the cheapest way you can reload ammo with like the cheapest materials and the cheapest crap is already more accurate than premium ammo. I'm just saying. It just once you dial in your powder charge for your specific rifle or gun, and it's just automatically it's just going to be more accurate.
It really is dangerously addicting.
Oh, you're telling me something I don't even know. I already learned. See, Dead Horse got me into this, and he's like, Dave, you can do it cheap. You just got to watch, these rabbit holes that people get into. And he wasn't lying, man. I basically, when me and Deads first started hanging out, I was big into Star Wars Legos. I collect them. I haven't bought a Star Wars set since I first met Dead Horse and started reloading, because all of my extra money goes into reloading stuff, and I'm constantly I redo it for some friends of mine that hunt, and they hunt all over the state of Florida and up in Ohio and stuff like that. So I do stuff from 7mm Mauser, 7mm 08, 30-06, 308, 458.
Yeah, the biggest thing I like about reloading is because I like, the big Magnum cartridges and shit like that, is I can work up loads that you can't buy factory. So, like, I can do the, like the Plus P Plus specials that I like making to run through my 69, so I have like a light Magnum, basically. I can't buy them, but I can make them and enjoy shooting a gun where I, don't have to choose between either a 44 special factory that's going to feel like a freaking 22 or a 44 Magnum. It's going to singe my eyebrows, from the flame of fire and shit coming out of the front of it. So that's the real, for me, that was one of the big reasons I got into it, was not only the cost, but the ability to have fun and customize.
Taylor ammunition.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to do a tombstone pizza tonight.
New York City.
I don't know. My whole day kind of I went from like I was on such a roll, and then when I found out that they were still closed, I'm like, well, shit, now what do I do? Like, my whole grand plan was to go shopping and do everything on my way home from the range, and like, I just went to sleep for almost 8 hours. So now I'm back up, and the daylight's fading, and I'm like, well, all right. Hey Zora, are you back now? Damn.
Hey, Slim.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a inline fabrication mount for your turret, right?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me turn the camera back on.
Okay. I've got, the Lee quick change plates you see under this press.
Oh yeah. I seen them.
I've got two of these that extra because I put inline fabrications over here in two spots for my two main presses. And so I've got two of these setups and three of the plates, three of the little plates. You can mount up three different pieces of equipment, and I give you two spots for these base plates, and you can change them out real quick. You just basically unscrew these two screws, and you just loosen them, and this whole press comes right off.
Yeah, they make some pretty. I've seen some of the stuff Inline does. Inline really makes a lot of good stuff for reloaders.
Yeah, this
I
is Lee. This is Lee stuff. So if anybody out there's got a Lee and needs some mounting plates and they want them, I'll send them to you. I'm not going to need them. And basically, I don't know what they cost, but I think they're at least 20 or 30 bucks.
I think they're about $20 a piece. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I got three plates for the mounting the actual presses or equipment
Well, I'll
to.
send you money just for one of the extra plates, not the actual mounting thing.
Well,
So that
I'll
one
just
extra
send
plate
you.
you have.
Look,
No, I'll
look.
send you. I'm gonna send you. I'll send you some money for you to ship it to me. Because in that way I can swap this press out with a maybe with a C press.
Yeah.
So when I just just for like maybe some real dirty decapping or something like that.
And this is the rabbit hole Dad was warning me about. Okay, these two
yeah.
gauges, this is a concentricity and bullet alignment gauge. This is a neck concentricity gauge. Just in those two pieces right there, over $200 for a freaking, little tool with a gauge on it.
Hey, Echo, what do those two things do? Just for those of us who don't know what those things are.
Run out.
When you're loading match precision ammo, and these let you to tell how far your case is out of how if the neck is dead straight or if it's slightly a little bit to one side or another. And that's why I want to get an annealing machine, because if you anneal your brass, what happens is when you work harden it, if it gets a little crooked from firing, it'll stay in that position because of the heat from the firing heated up the neck and the shoulder, and will actually make it a little bit softer for just a couple seconds, and the extraction can cause it to kind of throw off the neck. And even now, when I'm neck sizing these cases, I'm still getting like 2 thousandths worth of run out. And basically, annealing them softens up the neck and the top of the shoulder so that it makes it pliable again, so that it'll hold the die. Whatever the die does to it, it'll hold it.
Thanks, man. I just like learning stuff.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
It's interesting because you guys prime off press. What I do, because I just swap my turret since I've only got space for one. So I just keep a spare thing. So whenever I want to decap, I just switch out my turret, throw this in, and then just decap or deep prime or all that. Because I got like 3 of these floating around.
Yeah. The extra turrets. I got a couple turrets.
Yeah, like I've got, like you, I've got ones I haven't even opened yet. I've got guys that I keep saying I'm gonna get into, but I've even got bullets and stuff for. I just haven't gotten the time to set them up and get a load. And I'm gonna have to get new powder because I can't use 2438 special dies or 38 special rounds, especially not something that's open top like that Colt Navy is. But it truly is addicting. It's
addicting like crack.
yeah, like I bet you it's addictive as crack. I bet you at this point, I bet you crack would be cheaper.
I might have to agree on that.
I don't want to like hijack the show or anything. If anybody else has got anything that they want to talk about, I could ask a couple more questions if you guys want some.
Dude, ask.
Well, right now I'm sitting here, debating my reloading life. I want to have my first round reloaded before the end of this year. So I've got a bunch of 308 brass. I got a bunch of 5.56 and 223 brass. And then I got a bunch of the pistol caliber, 9, 45, and 40. Which one would you recommend is the easiest to start with, I guess? Or pretty much it's all the same all the way through?
You just throw away that 9mm brass. Who wants that?
Well, I was going to make like houses out of it and stuff, like doll houses out of that.
I mean, 40. You said you had what? 380. You had 9, 308, and 45.
Yeah, 9, 45, 40. But the pistol calibers I got. And then I've got a bunch of the 223, 5.56, and 308.
See, the 308 and the 223, you're gonna have to probably gonna have to trim casings and stuff, which isn't a big a deal, just another step. For me, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I would start with the 45. But that's just me.
And is that for cost savings or is that for simplicity? Like, what makes the 45
I mean,
your
the
choice?
45 and the 9 are pretty much
Cost too.
going to be the same because they're straight walls. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's real simple to reload pistol. Like even with reloading, well, these are my screw ups, but like I don't have to trim these. I don't have to do anything. I literally just resize them, put a new primer in. Well, clean them, of course, and then.
Did you say you got a 38 special, David? Or 357?
Yeah, 357. Yeah. So eventually
I would start
get
with
into
38
those.
special. That's the
Oh,
all-time easiest.
I didn't hear you had 38. Yeah, definitely the 38. Yeah, I didn't hear you had 38. Then definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say it in the list because I don't have that much of it. But I got gobs. I've got almost a
That's
5
probably
gallon
the easiest, safest caliber to start loading.
Yes.
Even if you make a mistake, your 357 mag is going to handle a really, really double charged, stoutly loaded 38. You know what I mean? So it's one of the safest calibers to probably start loading to.
38. 38's a lot of fun because, like I was looking at some of the loads. There's not much powder in them, so it's going to be cheap. The bullets are relatively small, so that's going to be cheap, and it takes a small.
You can buy a pound of Clay's powder, right, for like $25 or something. That'll give you 3,500 loads of 38 special at 2 grains for like nap farts. So for just some really light Plinken loads, 3,500 out of 1 pound of powder.
Just for reference, so that to put it in perspective, that's 9,000 rounds of 9mm. Same amount of powder. And you'll have half a pound left over.
Yeah. Yeah, 38's really, really cheap to load because you can load like it's not a semi-auto mechanism or anything, so you can load just 2 grains of powder, and so super cheap to load, super safe, super easy. Like I would definitely recommend everyone 38 special is the way to go.
Yeah, don't do what I did. Don't start with 44 Magnum.
David started with
458. So come.
And then
Well-
especially don't do what I did. Your second loading ever, don't be doing a plus P plus load.
Until you have your crimp and everything just right, or you're gonna have some bullets sticking out the cylinder. And yeah, just load some nap parts, like nice light loads. Go out there, get comfortable, and build up confidence, and then
So what would be the recommended first piece of equipment? You know, I've already got the brass. Do I
press the
buy?
dice.
So the
Press
press would be
dies
the
and a
first thing.
decent book.
Yep.
Book, my personal recommendation is the Lee book. Everybody's got their own favorite book. I like the Lee book. Press, bang for your buck, I would say Lee turret. And just go from there.
What's the largest rifle caliber you got, David? 308.
Right now, of 308, yeah. All the
Yeah,
other stuff
so-
I got, but my goal for the rifle is ultimately going to be like the 458 and the 338.
338 Lapua or Winchester Magnum?
Lapua, but that's down the road somewhere.
Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger single stage for that. Like I don't think the turret press is probably gonna handle 338, but it'll handle 308 just fine.
Well, and that's why I wanted to start with, something the most simple, so I could get all the techniques and all that kind of stuff
I would
down.
recommend starting on either the turret because you can use the turret as a single stage press. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So just starting out, you can basically use the turret like it's a single stage press and take your time and everything. And then when you're more comfortable with everything, then you can really start using it almost like a progressive type press. But it's like 4 pulls of the handle equals 1 completed round. Whereas a progressive press, you pull the handle one time, that's a completed round. That's the difference. But the turret press is nice because you get to really focus on just one round at a time, similar to a single stage. And
Yeah. Rick was showing me his turret setup that he's got, and he's got the little tripod that it sits on, and it doesn't take up any space whatsoever. So I could set that up right here in my room.
yep,
Yeah, and that's reasonable as well. That's a Lee tripod made for the Lee presses, and it's a nice setup. It's stable. It doesn't move. The only thing that I would say to watch out with the tripod is when you're lifting the handle up when you go to pull the brass out of the sizing die, you might want to put a couple of like boxes of bullets on the lower shelf on the tripod so that it doesn't lift up off the ground and shake.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
or cinder blocks or
Yeah.
weightlifting weights or lead shot for your shotguns, like the big bet. Usually when you buy lead shot for the shotguns, it'll come in a big like 30, 20 or 30 pound bag or something pretty heavy. So you just buy extras of those and then use that lead shot.
Yeah, I've got like 50 paver stones outside
Oh yeah.
in my backyard that
That'll
we're
work.
not using.
Yeah, because I'm gonna try something like that with my bench because my bench is a little wobbly, so I gotta put some weight on the bottom.
Yeah, usually wobbliness is like not a good thing at all. And at reloading bench, you just kind of want it usually as firm and solid as possible. That just usually seems to work out best. And if you're spilling less powder, less primer issues, just more consistent case sizing and bullet seating, and you'll develop what's called a feel for your press, where you just can tell from the feel of your press, especially like a turret or a single stage. Maybe not so much a progressive, but on those presses that like I know this case is sized right. I know this bullet is seated right. I know my crimp is right. You just get a feel for it.
when you're a real old guy and you've been doing it your whole life on a single stage press, like thousands and tens of thousands of rounds on a single stage press, you listen to an old guy and he'll press that thing and he'll be like, I'm going to pull this one to the left.
Yep.
He can already call his shot as he's reloading the round.
As you're reloading it.
Well, that's kind of what I was curious about when you were tapping that thing that looks like a magnifying glass that you said your primers were in, Dead Horse.
Uh-huh.
How do you know that they're going to come out in the right direction?
Gravity. They flip over because of gravity.
Yep. The bottom's heavier.
Okay,
they got
so
little-
kind of like butter side down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But there's like ridges and like the function, the form of it is designed to facilitate gravity working all the time. If that makes
Yeah, they
sense.
got little ridges in them, so like they naturally want to flip over to the heavier side on the bottom.
It is like, yeah, it like creates every opportunity for it to flip over if it already hasn't.
And sometimes if you get a couple that are upside down, you just shake the little container that you're putting them in, and
Yeah,
they
like,
will, yeah. And you shake them, and they'll grab the little notches on the bottom of the tray that Dead's holding, and flip over.
So when you unscrew the lid, let's see here, it'll have these ribs in there. You see those ribs? So let me angle this down better.
Yeah, I can see it.
The ribs are for
So what
your
I'll do here
pleasure.
is I'm going to take some primers here. I'm going to drop some primers in here. Some of them should turn upside down here. Oh. Let me see. Turn upside down. Okay. See, it's hard to even get them to turn upside down. They don't want to do it.
They're rounded the other way. It's like square. It's like really difficult for them to even stay upside down.
Okay, so there's some that are upside down in there. So if I just sit here and shake it. Oh, come on. Okay, now all but one. And usually when I get to that point, then I'll take, because the last one always seems to be the one that gives you a hard time. Then I'll just flip that last one by hand. But just by shaking it like that, they all flip over.
If you want to be a real jerk, though, when somebody asks that question, you just be like, oh, you got to flip them each over one by one.
Yeah.
Like, I like reloading, but it takes me like 2 hours to flip my primers over.
Be like, and you can't touch them with your fingers, so you got to use a pair of tweezers. Try that.
You don't want to get oil on them. So.
It's funny that you guys are saying that because that was actually my next question: is touching them with your bare hands.
Nah, I'm not worried about that at all.
Here's the thing about primers: of all the caustic, gross, horrible chemicals in bullets, like primers are the worst, right?
Yes. Yep. They've got a form of lead in them, and it's called a specific chemical. And basically, when you deprime a already shot casing, ground glass comes out, and this lead type chemical. And basically, when you eject it out of there, it comes out, and sometimes, Jesus. And sometimes it will, get all over your press. That's why I use an inexpensive press with a universal decapping die. It keeps me from getting crap all down in my RAM on my nicer press, and keeps it running smooth.
You never want to like chew on a primer, suck a primer, the people just shoot off primers sometimes because it's, I don't know, kind of fun. But you don't want to inhale that either.
Nope.
So what is that plastic tube with the little red cap on the bottom there by your knee, Dead Horse?
Primers.
That's where all the old primers go.
So normally they would just fall out of a hole and then fall on the ground, or you put a bucket there. You just didn't fall all over.
But then I'm breathing it, really, So I wait till this fills up almost, and then I'll pinch it, pull it off, and then go dump it.
Yeah,
I
so
don't want
mine, I had to cut mine because since I've got mine further back and like canted towards me. I had to cut mine so that it would clear the table. So mine's only like 2 inches long, but that's still like, a couple hundred primers before I got to empty it.
So what do you do with the
One
primer?
thing I like about my system, the Auto Prime 2, is you can easily see also every primer. So if you get one that's put in backwards, right, somehow it flips over backwards or something, I just go like that and boop, there it is. I grab it and and I can save it for the next go around. But you can see all that stuff coming in, and on a progressive press, you don't get that luxury of doing that, of just being able to stop like that without doing a whole bunch of work.
Now you can, if you get a primer into a cartridge and it's not sitting square in the pocket, you can deprime a live primer, but you just got to be careful. You don't want to be forcing on it. You want to kind of work at it to pop it back out. And you were asking, what do you do with the primers afterwards? And I recommend disposing them into an outside trash can right away.
Yep.
Or around your neighbor's well. That's a joke.
So could you take them to the recycling center, like if you had a 5-gallon bucket full of them?
Oh, I just
I think they consider them toxic.
I think they would take them. I've heard of people melting them down. I don't think there's enough weight or worth it. You would take more energy and cost more in fuel than I would just dispose of them and get rid of them, dude, honestly, for the primers. I've thought about using them in like out of BB guns to shoot and stuff, and it's just not worth it. The toxicity and stuff, it's just not worth it. Just this is my flare and powder dye, where it'll flare the cases. I'll take my little Lee Auto Prime thing off. Other still holder that goes back.
I feel like if you were at the master level, you'd have this all to where you have like a broomstick tying together all those knobs, and then you could do one thing and it would like operate all 3 presses or whatever.
I probably could. I could probably figure out a way to do that.
On like one of them foot lever things, how like the old-fashioned drill presses were, how you keep like pumping your foot up and down, and then that thing keeping track of all these different rounds going through.
That would be a funny video, actually. So there's, I think I primed, let me count here, primers. How many did I use? Over 200. So I think that's over 200 and change right there. I've lubed, sized, and.
What caliber is that? What caliber?
40.
You really need over 200 rounds of 40 caliber to shoot a deer?
I usually shoot more than that usually in just one outing with the gun.
Oh, you guys want a funny story? Another YouTuber was put up a video. He lives in California, and he went to the Walmart to look to see if they had any ammunition, because he was going to buy some before the new law goes into effect. And he went over to the sporting goods section, and there was a guy there that had 5 shopping carts full of ammunition. He made a order through the Walmart, and basically like ordered specific like for him, and spent $10,000. And the fellow's YouTube channel, he said that he was going outside with his wife, and apparently the Walmart people had made a phone call to the local sheriff's department, and they showed up, and they were when he was walking out to his car with his wife, they came up to him and the guy with the shopping carts and asked him straight up, "What are you doing with all that ammunition?" And he said he just went and got in his car. He was like, man.
I heard about that. That was Willie Bullet Man, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Whose channel was that on?
Willie
Willie
Bulletman.
Bullet.
I don't know if I follow him.
Yeah, he's part of the Georgia shooting connection. I'm friends with all those guys. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, Willie Bullet Man's a good guy.
Yeah, I think he's also on Reloading Network because I'm part of the Reloading
Yeah,
Network.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Someone should paste his link out there in the side chat and in the internal or something for me, so you can follow this guy.
Yeah. Bastards have cost me a lot of money. All the stuff they show how to do on that damn thing.
I'll look it up for you, Dead Horse.
yeah,
They do some cool stuff on there.
I can send you a
Also, for the
link.
viewers out there, you know, they might want to get turned on to this guy. I definitely want to go watch that video. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah,
I
it's
would have been super mad. Like, dude, it's like what business is it of yours? I mean, this is a
Absolutely none.
Walmart and been like,
I'm sorry, am I breaking the law here? Is there some kind of rule? Like, what the hell? Get the hell away from me.
I'd be like, is my money not good anymore? Like that you're gonna call the police on me every time I make a purchase? Like I'd be pissed.
Yep.
I would go into the same Walmart and buy like $10,000 worth of maxi pads.
You could sue Walmart, dude, if they're the ones that actually called.
Yeah.
Right? If it wasn't a
It has
customer.
to do with Walmart. It has to do with that manager or whoever did it, right? So why you get mad at Walmart? Who's doing what on the screen?
Well, I'd be mad at the manager for calling.
Well, no, like Home Depot got sued for millions of dollars because they thought a guy stole a drill and they called the cops on him. And it turns out the guy didn't steal it; he bought it. But because the guy got pulled over, right, and had a heart attack from the stress of being pulled over, he got millions of dollars from Home Depot, and that's why Home Depot lets thieves get away from it for like everything, to steal shit without even calling the cops. So I'm telling you, if Home Depot can get sued for something like that, a Walmart manager calling the cops unjustly, Walmart could get sued too.
Oh,
All
yeah.
that guy has to do is say he has psychological problems, PTSD, whatever. That guy could get millions from Walmart, and it might not make him knock off that kind of crap. That's bullshit. Better manager training.
Willie Bullet Man is probably the nicest guy on the planet too.
Oh, he's a cool cat. We were in the hospital at the same time. He's they were going to cut his foot off below his knee. He's got an infection in his bone. In his foot.
Well, I won't play the video since we're live, but I can show you the thing. Because I probably won't copyright, but I'll just see if I can find it.
Yeah, we need to be very aware of this new law they're passing in California, and so that we keep an eye on our officials, that they don't try to mosey that law on down the road to another state.
Yeah, there's his channel. But he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I put the links out on the gun channel side and the YouTube and on the internal.
But yeah, the title is I just saw a man purchase $10,000 worth of ammo from Walmart. Then the police were waiting for him.
Yeah, and the weird thing was the cops were in the parking lot when Willie walked out with his wife. He was like, God, they've got 4 squad cars out in the parking lot, sheriff's department, where he lives in California. And he's like, that's kind of weird that there's 4. Usually there's, at max 1 car, and it's usually, or 2, and they're just talking or something. But he walked out and he saw like 4 cars, and he was like, yeah, I just started walking to my car because I didn't know what was going on. And then the guy with the carts came out, and they waited till he almost got to his car. and they walk up, and then two cars drive up on both sides of him. They were like he had just robbed the place with a, armed robbed the place, and all he did was buy stuff.
If I was an ambulance chasing lawyer, I would be hitting that guy up right now, being like, "Let's get some money.
Oh, for sure.
Show me the money." Yep,
'Cause
that's what I'd be saying. I'd be screaming it into the phone to him.
the one guy's comment on the video was, "I'd tell the cops, you can either help me load this ammo or get out of my way." But that's the thing, is that kind of stuff pisses me off because it's like,
You want to know why I need this much ammo? Meet me at the range on Saturday, buddy. Let's go shooting.
I'd be
You
like,
guys are all invited. Let's go.
So is everybody that's getting upset that this happened also okay with the government not being responsible for when an individual decides to do something horrible and uses a tool based on knowledge that they'll be infamous because of the media? And then when they go to look at, like, who's the fault of this, and then they're like, oh, it's the FBI, didn't check.
See, that's the thing, is I never blame, like, when someone buys a lot of ammo like that, that's their thing. I blame when, like, someone's got, like, mental issues or something, and then they stand by. Like, if someone's just buying a bunch of ammo, that's their right. They can buy whatever they want. When everybody around them knows that they have mental issues, yet don't speak up and don't do anything, that's my issue.
Like here,
that's a good line in the sand, because you're not doing nothing to nobody by just purchasing stuff. But like you're saying, known issue or something, who cares what you even own at that point? Then it's more of a known issue.
If there's a known mental issue and everybody stands by and just, whatever, like, that's when I have an issue. You're just buying ammo, like, who cares?
Well, yeah,
there's no limit on any state. Is in California? This happened in California, right?
Yes.
There are limits. There are limits in states on quantity you can transport and then quantity you can have in one place, but they're pretty big. But that's like fire hazard type of shit more than.
And I remember individual limits set by certain stores during when ammo was hard to find, where they'd be like, "Oh, you can only buy one box of 22 long rifle, or only two boxes of 9mm." So, but that was like a thing that the individual store said. But as far as like law goes, on like how much you can buy at one time, like, maybe transport, in a vehicle, like, you can't have over 20 pounds of powder or something, or without a special certificate or license, or I can see that, but just actual ammo, like, and loaded ammo, I don't know.
Well, they've got in California, they have a law that says you're only allowed 3 pounds of powder in your house at one time.
Well, I think New Jersey had a law about you can only have like 200 rounds or something, right? And like something in your house or something. But in California, I've never heard of that. Zorro's here. Zorro.
You know who the law like that's horrible? The worst one I've heard of like that is Israel, right? They could have only one box of ammo or 50 rounds for their gun.
Yeah. What's his name that used to come in here all the time?
Amit,
yep. Yeah, he's the one who was telling us that. And well, he can have more ammo than that, but he has to store the ammo at the range, right? And you can only have one box at home. So he can technically own like 500 rounds of ammo. It just all has to be kept at the range.
Oh, I never did that.
The one state, like, you could only buy a single box a month or something, like, it was some.
And he could own a gun.
That's California after July, right?
No,
yeah, I think that is.
They can only buy one box of ammo a month now. It's ridiculous.
It's pathetic. Like, and this is the thing. Like, nobody's covering this except for a couple of YouTubers and stuff. Like, no major media that I've heard is covering it. But they're really getting shit.
Is it you can only buy one box of ammo, only one purchase a month?
I know everything's a background check. I didn't know. I just heard about the limitations. I knew it was anything you buy, there's a background check, because they were showing how there's signs in Walmart saying that, like, for a certain time they're no longer going to sell ammo, and then supposedly, like, the one sign I think said July 1st they're going to stop selling ammo, but then by July 22nd they're going to start selling it again. And the YouTube video I saw, the guy's like, he doesn't know if they're ever going to sell it again because of having to do background checks on it. that
Yeah.
they might just be like, oh well, screw it, it's not worth our trouble, and we're in the business of making money. We could give a shit, so we're not
And
gonna
it's
do
the
it.
12th. They said that they're going to stop selling on the 1st, and they said they're going to restart selling on the 12th. And basically, the problem with that is the government is not going to have those computer systems up and running to do the background checks for, guys, how long it takes the government to get a computer system set up.
Well, Woods is going through that right now with the 1639. Is that they don't have the database set up for a dealer just to do the individual checks and stuff like that. And the FBI said that they won't do the NICS form. And so the 1639 is causing that issue right now. And I believe that's all by design. They know that. They want it like that.
Well, here's the thing: this ammo background check in California, is it federal or state background check? Whose database are they calling into?
Out of state people can't buy ammo in California anymore.
Yeah. So what my question is if they're dumping this on like the
really?
what is it, the NICS system, right? Is that what this is getting dumped on?
No,
I don't know.
or I don't think so. I
No,
think
it's not. No,
Yeah.
it's an internal one.
So
And
it's
that's why
internal. So it's kind of like
internal to the state.
California, it's basically you got to jump through all those hoops to get a permit to carry. My question is are they trying to make it that basically nobody ever buys any ammo because the background check takes like 4 months or something like that?
Well, yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't, the way the law was written, how if we buy a gun and we get delayed, within 72 hours, that gun shop has to turn over that gun. Now, if the background comes back unclear or not cleared, they can alert the gun store is supposed to alert the ATF, and the ATF pay you a visit saying we need that pistol or rifle or shotgun, whatever, back because you didn't pass the test. But you're only allowed to delay the customer after the waiting period, if you have one, 3 days, 72 hours before you have to, by law, turn that firearm over to that customer.
Which was done deliberately because that way it wasn't a way to just start denying everybody.
Yes, so that they couldn't tie you up in paperwork for the next 6 months.
Exactly.
So there's no provision on this law to regulate that. So basically, if you give them an ID, they could say, well, we need a concealed weapons permit. And you know how hard those are to get in California. So basically, they could be, it's going to take some more time if you're only using a driver's license. So they could literally make it indefinite.
And that's the problem, and that's what I was saying was, if they make it that, their system gets bogged down because now every single ammo purchase is going to require a background check. I mean, it's going to crash their system, and they're going to, they'll come up with some BS, legalese. Oh, well, due to this, we're having to restructure the system, and just bear with us because, we're going to rebuild the system. It'll be bogged down, and it could end up being, depending upon how corrupt they want to be about it, it could be 6 months before anybody can start getting background checks through on that system. If it's the same, it'd be curious if it's the same system that they use to run background checks on guns. That could really be interesting.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that that in California, that's where Silicon Valley is, where all the tech people are, computer geniuses, and they mean that they can't get a system up and running faster than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's a shame because Freedom Week got all the that's all you heard about, and that was good, that was awesome, but this thing for California, it's like they got their 1 step or 2 steps forward, and then they backtracked and it went into litigation and all that. But now it's like they're going 10 steps back with this.
Yeah, but you got to look at it this way too. All of these unconstitutional laws that California keeps passing, all it really takes is one Supreme Court justice to rule on that. You know what I'm saying? And be like, okay, you're by not allowing people to buy ammunition, you're violating the Second Amendment because you can't keep and bear arms if you don't have any ammunition. That's another way of regulating. So, in other words, if they're going to eventually cross a line of no return, hopefully, and then the Supreme Court will rule on it and rule all those laws, hopefully, unconstitutional, and they'll lose all of their gun control laws. So that's what most of the people in California I've talked to. I talked to Steve, Fortune Cookie 45,
Yep.
and he's worried about the reloading stuff. He says they've already said that they're going to be doing the same thing for bullets and powder and primers. Right now, you can pretty much order whatever you want as long as you don't have delivered to your house more than 3 pounds of powder at a time. And basically, he also said that it's just around the corner. They're going to catch on to the reloading thing. And like, I guess reloading is everybody's buying reloading equipment in California right now. It's like the new hot spot for reloading. He's like, every store he's been into has been sold out of primers,
If you
powder.
notice, Amazon's really good at fluctuating prices based on popularity. All the Lee stuff's gone up in price on Amazon recently, a whole bunch. And it's because people in California are getting it really, which is cool. I don't mind because I already have all my stuff, but you definitely, the price has gone up.
That's what I heard.
Is like, I'm curious because I got my turret press off Amazon Prime for $99.
So did I.
Not charging for it. What?
I paid the same price. It was $100 for my Lee cast turret press.
So I'm curious what they're now charging with the if they're like increasing because of demand. Which is a shame because I know for Freedom Week, I know that like magazines, like people are having crazy sales.
Well,
like crank them out.
Brownell sold 10 million magazines that week.
Did anybody hear? I heard it, and I didn't investigate it in any way, shape, or form, so it's just speculation. But apparently, there's been like record-setting ammo sales this past month in California because the July 1st deadline.
Well, yeah, one guy just spent $10,000. One person spent $10,000 at Walmart. Like, if that's not record setting, I don't know what is.
I spend $10,000 on ammo every day.
Yeah, I wish.
All right, guys. Hey, we're going to be wrapping this up really shortly. Gun Snob's he's getting ready to start his show. So I just want to thank everyone for joining Raw Live and watching Raw Live. This was number 3.5 because we had kind of a split today while Rick and Minuteman University went on. But we'll go through the panel here if anyone wants to give a shout out or anyone wants to do a shout out or make awareness for anything that they want to promote awareness for or anything. So I'll start on my left. Echo, you go first. Anything you want to shout out or promote awareness for?
Yeah, join gun websites and also be aware of what's going on in your state. Stay tuned in to what is going on because I have a feeling that this is going to try to be pushed in other states.
Yep, I'd agree. G-Webs?
Just to echo what he said there, Gun Channels is the community that you're talking about.
I'm sorry, G. I always mess that up, bro.
Anyways, so then I posted a video I linked to a video on Instagram of a guy that moved from California to Vegas, and he bought his first gun, and it took him like 4 minutes. He was, I don't think he'd ever been able to do that. So there's people that don't understand what it's like to exercise freedom. what we're talking about right now, and California is about to change that game again. So just remember, it's a Saturday. Have fun, but remember.
Awesome. Thanks, G. David?
Yeah, thanks for having me, and everybody check out everysecondmatters.com. It comes up this Tuesday, so do whatever you can to do like Dead Horse says all the time. Just because it's not in your state, make people aware of what's going on when you know what's going on.
Definitely. Woods?
Okay, I'm going to get it right this time. Help Fight 1639. Go to the GoFundMe page. Just hit in 1639, and there's going to be two of them. It's the one that's about, 70,000 or something like that?
Yeah, almost 80,000. Yeah.
Almost 80,000. It's the one that has a little hammer, and that would be awesome. And thanks for the show, guys.
Thank you, Woods. Slim Cowboy?
Just join as many Second Amendment organizations as you can, and at this point, just start buying ammo.
Awesome. Thank you. Zorro, are you back yet, buddy? Okay, I think Zorro fell asleep listening to the boring reloading chat, which I don't blame him. All this I want to promote awareness for Every Second Matters, everysecondmatters.com. And, it's coming up this Tuesday. Get out there, promote awareness for the Second Amendment any way you feel that you can, any way that works for you. Get out there and do something. Post a video, visit your local gun shop, support your local gun shops. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member, talk to a stranger. And get out there and promote. If we could all just talk like to one person that was maybe on the fence or in the middle or something about the Second Amendment, maybe sway them over to our side, imagine the victory that would have for us. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back with Raw Live next Saturday. And Rick does not go on next Saturday, so next Saturday will be an uninterrupted chat. So thank you everybody, and you guys all take care.
See you all later.